This week on One Crazy Story, Andy Wright returns to talk about the worst Bumble date he's ever been on.
Exactly.
Off-brand Applebee's.
It was one of those places. It was an off-brand Applebee's.
You know what I mean? It's like we couldn't afford the franchise, so we just,
But our cook came from the top Applebee's in Southeast Michigan, so he knows what he's doing with that spin art dip.
Yes. We use the same distributor. Yes, we do. So yes, we
can't legally call this a bloomin' onion, but
yes.
You tell me the difference.
Yeah, it's a blue min onion. Yes.
Hello and welcome to another edition of One Crazy Story. I'm your host, Nate Armbruster, and this week I'm talking with Andy Wright. You may remember Andy from previous episodes. I think this is like his third or fourth time on, so he's always a good guest. I love talking to the guy. He's hilarious. We recently saw each other and we're talking about how he should do another episode, and he told me he had the perfect story about one of the first dates he went on shortly after his divorce. And I would imagine that jumping back into the dating world after a marriage is probably a little awkward for some people, or a little weird, I guess. And you know what? Thanks to things like Bumble and Tinder and all sorts of online dating apps, they make it pretty easy now for people to date. And you know what? You might as well dive right in. Well, why not? And that's what Andy did. And on date number 2, the second person he went out with, it was just a little weird, you know, nothing bad, nothing really bad happened, but just weird. So we talk about it. We talk about his awful, awkward experience with this woman, and we find out where it goes, and it's pretty entertaining. Anyway, so Andy was kind enough to come back on the podcast and tell me about it. So I hope you enjoy this episode. If this reminds you of anything that's happened to you, please email me at onecrazystory@gmail.com. I'd love to hear your story. Get in touch with me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all of that stuff at Nate Comedy or at One Crazy Story. And also, if you haven't yet, make sure you subscribe on iTunes, all of the podcast apps. You can find us everywhere, and leave a review. It only helps the show. That'd be great. So enjoy this week's episode with myself and one of my favorite people to talk to, Andy Wright.
Just recently got back into dating.
Yeah, this is like fresh in there. Fresh in there. I don't know.
Fresh in there.
Fresh in there.
Fresh in there. Fresh in there dating. I was using the Fresh in there app.
Yeah, I was fresh in there.
Fresh
New
in
dating.
there.
Back at it. We're fresh in there. I make up my own.
Right out of the oven
phrases.
is, I think,
right out of the oven. Right up.
This works. Like a hot, sticky bun out of the oven, fresh in there. I had just recently joined Bumble.
Yes.
And Bumble's a bit of a tricky one at first because it seems like all these beautiful women will match with you and then none of them want to talk to you.
Yeah. I've got 200 matches. One person sent me a message.
Now the clock starts.
Yeah,
I have 24 hours. 24 hours to just go over all of my worst attributes.
Right, and God forbid.
And just enumerate them as the clock goes and just think, okay, she doesn't like this about me. Check it out. It's not this.
Yeah. And they send the one message the day you don't look.
Yeah.
And you're like, fuck. Oh. She sent me a message. Shit. She's gone forever.
There's been a couple times where I'll go back in and then you see them grayed out and you see the message they sent you and you're like, and it's like,
she was into
creepy.
me.
It's like a dried out husk of like like when you see a cicada exoskeleton on a tree and you're just like, something bad happened here.
Yeah, this was bad. But that's what it was like, where it's like, it's just, it's gone forever. Just gone forever.
Yep.
Yet I can't remember any of my passwords. You can't recover that shit, but you can't even. That's fine. Nice. I'll never meet you.
Yep.
Never meet you.
So I was just by chance with my roommate, my current roommate, not at the time I didn't have the roommate. We were at a Pistons game in Auburn Hills at the time.
Yeah, old school. This is before that. Before
the year ago.
The podcast, it'll live forever. So someone could hear from this will live forever. I'm so ambitious of me. Who's gonna stop me?
No Bumble expiration on this episode.
Yes. This episode's only available for 24 hours. You better get it while it's hot, fans.
If you don't reply,
all my
if you don't
fans,
like it every 24 hours, it just the clock restarts.
Yes.
We were at the Palace, and Robert was very interested in my dating life. Like, he was trying to live vicariously through me. So he thought it was so interesting.
Mm-hmm. There is something interesting about a young divorced person jumping back into the fresh in there,
getting fresh in there.
Getting fresh in there.
Right back out of the oven. That's what marriage is. It's an oven.
Just burn you.
Yep.
Just burn. You'll just bake from the inside.
So it's a dry heat. So
this is what I assume.
He had the great idea of like me opening both Tinder and Bumble and just swiping right.
And you're in an arena with 20,000 people.
Exactly. So I reduced the radius to like
half a mile or whatever. Yeah.
And also, like, I was sitting next to a very attractive woman who was there, who I presume was her son.
God.
And
well, you never know.
Yeah, just got to keep the options open. So I opened both and I just swiped right like crazy, and then the rest of the night was a bit of a blur. But the next Sunday, I had just gotten back from working out, and I opened my phone and I had a connection with this beautiful woman.
Mm-hmm.
And I looked at it and I'm like, where the fuck is Davison, Michigan?
Mm-hmm.
And then I noticed that she was like 50 miles away. I'm like, how the hell did this happen?
Right.
And then it clicked. It's like my radius was like 20 miles. Which, when you don't live in a big city, you have to have at least a minimum of 20 miles.
Yeah, and if you do, though, it's like, I mean, at 20 miles within any direction of Detroit, that's...
Yeah.
I mean, it's quite a spread.
Yes, there's a lot going on.
Yeah, you can go anywhere.
Toledo, Windsor, Detroit... everywhere north of Detroit.
Oh yeah, you can go out of state. But Davison,
go international,
Yeah. So she messaged you. Yeah.
She messaged me. Yes. Yeah. We started talking. Two things I noticed in her profile were that she loved Friends and she loved Seinfeld, and that she would beat you, the average male observer, in trivia of either of these titles.
Okay. And how did you feel about that? You Seinfeld and Friends fan, Andy?
Seinfeld. I grew up on Seinfeld.
Yeah.
I grew up on Friends. Well, I grew up watching like the first 4 seasons of Friends, and then I was like,
"Nah,
this is
kind of phased out.
This can't be how adults work."
Yeah. Eventually, this shit it's not even. I'm not even gonna entertain.
Like I don't buy it for a second that they're affording that rent. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. Are you kidding?
They don't do anything during the day.
They don't work. This fucking must be nice.
The one has a PhD and he earns what now? Come on, he works at a museum. Bullshit. So you
got 4 seasons of Friends trivia under your belt, probably.
Yeah,
if you're lucky.
Right.
But not against this lady, probably.
No, and I don't expect to take the title from her. I just want to put up a good fight,
Yeah.
I want to walk in and I want to feel proud of my performance, and that's it. That I just want to, come out of it just be like, I showed up. I was here.
Yeah,
I got invited.
That's all you need, man.
You
just want to play the game.
Good to be acknowledged.
Yes.
When you play on the court with the champions, you're glad to be there.
Absolutely. Yes. When you're
So we're talking, and she tells me all sorts of things about herself. She's a speech pathologist. She's a cat named Tipsy. Her name, though, is what struck me. And we talked a lot about her name.
Okay.
But I still thought I was pronouncing it correctly. And I was supposed to, before I sat down with you, I was going to come up with a new name. Because I don't want to just throw her name out there.
Or we can just do first name, right? Or is it so specific?
It's so specific. I've never come across this name since.
Okay.
But like she had a nickname, and it was clearly like pronounced. Like if you read it phonetically, it definitely sounded the way that I was saying it.
Yeah.
And she was telling me like how people always mispronounce her name, and I was like, oh, that's weird. Like it's clearly
right.
Like it's written out. You can see it. So fast forward a couple days, and we're talking for a few days. We set up plans to hang out.
Right, because I mean, what is this like? You got to go like a half hour to even be into her.
Right. Yeah, that's the big thing. So
there's a little bit of distance. You got to plan this shit.
She apparently matched with me when she was at work. And and we talked about meeting up on Thursday, so it's Sunday. And she's like, okay, well, let's go halfway. And she was explaining how it was like, I think she said an hour and a half or like an hour 45 minutes,
right?
Something like that.
So you're gonna meet.
Okay, well, I'll drive the hour, you drive the 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Well, come to find out, like,
chivalry, man.
Man, it ain't that.
No, it's not that. It starts with Andy Brett.
So, like, I was thinking, like, okay, I'm taking 15 to 20 minutes from her. No big, like, whatever. Well, come to find out, like, she meant from work, like, where she was working. Where she was living, like, she was driving maybe 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I didn't find this out until this
Too
much
late.
later, though.
Yeah.
So we're talking for a few days. It's like we have time to kill. And it's just about on Wednesday night that I was out running, and I didn't get her messages. So then when I got back, I was like, "Oh, I apologize, working out." And she's like, "Oh, you work out a lot?" I was like, "Yeah, kind of, like 4 to 5 days a week." And she's like, "Wow, you must be really cut." I was like, "Whoa. Let's set our expectations here."
Right? Yeah, but
nope.
Nope.
That's not. And I was like, "No, I'm not."
I just run.
Yeah, like just running for my life.
I just run.
Just need
not
to keep,
for pleasure
I just need
either.
to keep enough weight off that I can get away.
Yeah, exactly.
This is for survival.
Yeah, I work out just to stay kind of fat. Just a little doughy.
Just a little. So
just heavy enough that no one will pick me up.
We still have Michigan winters here.
Yes, you gotta stay warm.
Yeah.
You gotta stay warm.
So then she says, "Well, you're probably gonna think I'm a fat ass." And
well, geez,
like that, like very bold.
Yeah.
So far, and like I said, leading up to this point, conversation's been going well. There's been no hints of thinking like,
yeah, just like
no red flags.
Yeah.
And so, like, even that, like, didn't really seem like a red flag necessarily.
Well, yeah.
It was just,
some,
just
general insecurity that
right.
probably didn't have to.
Most people have, not a big deal.
Yeah,
right.
Didn't have to say it though.
It was just seemed a bit overt.
Yeah, yeah.
So then,
like, Jesus,
you're
assuming I'm an asshole now too.
Right.
All right, lady.
Like, oh wait, I was gonna come in and measure your body fat first thing. I looked.
Yes,
like
get
I
ready.
told her, like, you have photos of you. Like,
yeah.
No,
that's all you. If you had, yeah.
Not, it's not. No, that's not the case here.
Yeah, I'm driving to Davison.
And
I'm going. I think you look
You got
fine.
me on the line.
Yes,
yeah.
This is fine.
I'm getting near the no drink zone of Flint.
That's the one that I like about. A lot of people think dating apps are so like whatever, because it's changed online dating so much. But I'm like, it's kind of like. Thinking, well, I mean, I guess if you approach it in a healthy way, it's like, no, you should. That's definitely part of it. You want to know what that person looks like,
Right. I know a lot of people are like, but it's so superficial. It's like, well, you know what you're sexually attracted to.
That's
you
the
know
thing.
what you physically want.
Yeah, and you know if that person's attracted to you automatically.
Exactly.
So you don't even have to ask.
Yeah.
There doesn't even have to be part of the conversation.
And then you can
find you attractive. Then let's talk.
Dive right into that abysmal hell of conversation.
Yeah.
And you're fine.
Yeah.
There you go.
Great
Those are the first 2 steps
of
online dating.
Yes. What's your favorite color?
Neat. Me too. Yep.
Do you like music? Me too.
Me neither.
It's much different. No, yeah. Much different.
So then she apparently is like fixated on this, and she continues talking about like how much of a slob she is, and just how she's
text.
not like giving examples of like how she just like is unclean or just leaves dishes out. She's just like, oh, I'm such a fat slob, blah blah blah. I was like, what the hell's happening? Like, what did I strike oil in?
And you haven't spoke to her in person or over the phone or anything. This is all just via Bumble Messenger. Yes. So you don't even have her phone number yet?
I do have her phone number.
Okay, so so now it's texts.
Yeah. So at one point I was just like, I'm sorry, like, are you nervous? Like, I get if that's the case. She's like, nervous? It's one word question. I was like, some people use self-deprecating humor to like, cut the tension. And she's like, tension? Come to find out, this is going to be how she communicated to me for the next 10 minutes.
Oh my God.
One word questions. She would pick one single word, like the operative noun.
And you guys haven't even met yet.
Never met.
Oh my God.
So at that point, like, I'm about to get in the shower.
And you're still going.
I'm nervous. And I get into the shower and I decide, like, I talk myself out of it. I'm like, this seems a bit much. Like, let's just part ways now. Just get out of the shower and just break it off.
Don't drive this far for dinner.
Yeah. I don't need to spend $15 on gas to go.
Just to be uncomfortable and then buy someone else food.
So this is also, it's in the middle of April. End of March.
Yeah.
So the tournament had just started. It was kind of cold out still. What other word pictures can I paint for you here? We picked some place that neither of us had been to off US 23. There's a lot of fine details. So
I love it, just like a halfway meeting point, side of the highway, like
exactly.
Off-brand Applebee's.
It was one of those places. It was an off-brand Applebee's.
You know what I mean? It's like we couldn't afford the franchise, so we just
But our cook came from the top Applebee's in Southeast Michigan, so he knows what he's doing with that spin art dip.
Yes. We use the same distributor. Yes, we do. So yes, we
can't legally call this a bloomin' onion, but you tell me the difference.
Yeah, it's a blue min onion. Yes, that's what it's called.
Onion.
This is just a perfect.
Filet mignon.
This has so many.
Yeah, it's set up perfectly. I know what I'm doing. I'm clearly just killing it.
The fact that this is your first. Was this one of your first dates out of
this? Would have been post-divorce. The second person I went out.
Okay, so this is still weird, newish territory. Like it's still like already like you got to do it. Yep. You might as well wait. You might as well burn one on this already. It's like, let's just get this out of the way.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Well,
or like, just getting my ground.
That's where Robert's role comes in later, which is funny.
But like, you just gotta get your feet wet.
I get out of the shower.
Yeah.
And like I look at my text messages, and I have a few from her, and the first two are a bit much.
Yeah. Where you're like, oh,
and then the last one is, well, I will tell you this: I am nervous about what to wear. And at this point, I was kind of like antagonistic. I was like kind of over it, so I was just like.
So now you're just kind of passive.
Yeah. So I went in full smart ass. I was just like, oh yeah, me too. I'm probably just gonna dress as a clown. And this apparently was a red button for her. Because after that, she's like, haha, don't do that. I was like, oh no, I'm definitely dressing like a clown. She's like, oh, well, if you do that, you're going to be watching basketball alone. I was like, or I'll be watching basketball alone dressed as a clown.
Nah.
And then she kicks in. She's like, or you could have dinner with a beautiful woman. And I was like, okay.
Where did all this confidence
there's that
come
confidence
from?
back.
What?
Like, okay.
Yeah.
Like,
weird.
That's cool. No, I'll play that game.
No, it's like, it's cool, but like, it's good. That's good.
Yeah.
It's a step in the right direction.
But it's also like, I did the check-in, and she has it, and now I should probably bail.
Yeah.
But I didn't.
No, yeah.
No. Yeah. That would be a boring story to tell in your podcast.
You just kept digging.
Just kept digging. So at that point, I was cool with it, and we decided everything was fine. The next day, I'm out to lunch with my friend Ridley, and I'm telling her the story so far. And I've also already told Robert so far. And Robert's just pushing. He's like, no, you got to do it. See it through.
Yeah, dress as a clown.
So not that part. Not that depth of detail. However, I was telling Ridley, she's like, she starts to like panic. She's like, oh my God. Like, she sounds insane. I'm like, she might be.
Yeah.
But,
well, there's something.
Let me buy this insane
There
person
is something
dinner
to
first.
that, though, that, some people just don't know how to communicate via text.
Exactly.
And, you got,
some
it
people
could be
are
entirely
so lost
different.
when they project that tone onto the other person that they're just, they're playing their own game. So
right.
it's like,
and they don't realize how stupid they sound.
I understand where my shortcomings are here as well. Let me mend this. Let me bridge the gap here. Let's meet in person.
You should. Because I would have definitely gone. I would have definitely gone to dinner with this person for sure.
So Ridley then, who's seemingly a bit nervous for me, was like, do you want me to like text you later to check in? Well, it's at this point that I'm like, yeah, I kind of do. Like I've never thought about this, but yeah, like I'm driving an hour away.
It's
gonna be up near Flint.
It's quite a commitment for one dinner, It's a big, for somebody you've never met.
And then she tries to convince me to go to one of the costume shops downtown here to go buy a clown costume. She's like, I think she would like really appreciate the joke. I'm like, I don't think so.
Dressed?
And I'm glad I didn't, because not just because, well, I feel like there's not a single reason of just because here, but for several reasons. One of the main reasons being that I feel like she would have just been super pissed off. And I feel like in that moment, I mean,
I don't know
if that would have ruined my now current marriage to this woman. I just gave away the twist ending. I'm so sorry.
yeah. Andy, and he is.
She's actually on the couch with us right now.
Yes. Couch. Marriage.
So I leave work. I head out that way, and I left late, and there was a bunch of traffic. There's always traffic on that freeway. And I left at rush hour. And it was raining.
It's already off to a great start.
Everything's going against it.
And now you're like, fuck, why am I doing this?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I get there, and I walk in, and there's no one in the restaurant. There's two servers and a hostess. And I go, like, I just walk straight in the door, and like, they're like, yeah, wherever. I'm like,
so you're super late, and she's not even there yet?
She's not there.
Yeah.
I sit down at a table. She texts me. She's like, I'm sorry, I'm running 10 minutes late. I'm like, oh, that's
10 minutes later than me
right.
being
right.
How late?
I didn't even pull out that card. I'm like, no, this has to go better than it already is.
Yeah. At least you got a blue mint onion coming your way. You know, I mean, you can get a little dinner out of this. Some nourishment.
So I text back. I'm like, oh, no, you're fine. Like, I just got here. There's no one here. You're fine. Her response to that is, you went in without me?
What?
And I was like, yeah.
Yes, I did.
It's like, so you're just inside the restaurant? And at this point, I'm like, well, this is a weird question. So I'm like, yeah. And she then says, I can't believe you went in without me.
I love it.
So then I don't know what to say. So I don't say anything for a few minutes. And then it comes up again. And I'm just like, and it's 10, it is close to 10 minutes later. So I'm like, are you nearby? She's like, no, I'm still I'm still 10 minutes behind. I'm like, what the hell's happening? She's texting me while she's driving.
Right.
Just like, I don't know, like throwing in like certain things that happened in her day and then saying like, I still can't believe you went in without me. Well, then she's finally texting. She's like, or no, this is before she even got there. I was like, well, trying to be empathetic. I'm like, I'm sorry, like, is it a nervous thing? Like, is it like social anxiety? Like, I get that all too well. Like, sometimes like when I walk into a new place, I try to spot the restroom immediately because that's a thing that, you know, I'm just trying to be so empathetic about it. And she's just angry.
Wow. Yeah.
Well, then she finally texts me that she got there. And at that point, a family had walked in.
Wow. Yeah.
And I could imagine that this might be an issue had the family surrounded me like a pack of zebras protecting the young, but that wasn't the case, luckily. I was still in plain sight.
That's great.
So
you're easy to find. Trust me.
Very easy
Just
to
walk
find.
in.
At that point, I text her. I'm like, look, as soon as you hit the door, you're going to see me. The only
Do you want
dumb white idiot sitting in this row. Like, I'm a cue ball here. Like, you will see me. Like, it's a dark bar, and I'm just here.
It's just the way. Just the most, because I've eaten alone many times, and like
I didn't even try to lose myself in the dark part of the bar, like up near the bar.
Nice, no, you want this well lit.
I'm like near like one of the 4 windows.
I'm this with all how skeptical you have to be of this person. You made the right move there.
And also, I just assumed that this place could get busy.
Yeah,
that was a terrible assumption.
Yeah, it's like
it not only couldn't get busy, it never got busy.
Right. Like it's like parking. It's like parking your car under a street light. You know, you just want to be well lit by the exit in case you got to flee. You don't know.
I had eyes on the tournament, and that was enough.
Right.
I didn't want to be too close to the TV because I didn't want that to be distracting.
Right.
So 5 minutes go by after I texted her this. And I don't hear anything. And I'm just waiting like how long. She said she's in the parking lot.
Yeah.
It's not a big parking lot.
Do I have to go get her? Do I have to walk her in?
I was considering it.
Yeah.
Well, then...
And you're like, I'm not going out there.
Another couple walked in between. And there was a brief moment where I thought like, oh, she brought a guy.
That'd be so great.
Not a bad idea.
That'd be so great. Like, guess thing is like, that's what's great is like, you couldn't even be mad about that.
No.
You'd be like, cool.
Yeah.
No, this is great. I'm going
to buy you guys around at most, and then I'm going to bail.
Yes, exactly. That'd be almost like a relief where you're like, good, I'm out. You enjoy this.
Oh, good. I don't even have to like try to tag someone in.
Yeah, exactly.
So then she hits the door and she like not quite bolts toward the table, but she walks like head low and like quickly to the table.
Yeah, like pissed.
Yeah. She sits down, doesn't really say hi or anything. Just immediately hits the table, puts phone on top of table.
Mm-hmm.
And just starts talking about, I don't know, her day.
Yeah, not even like, hey.
No, hardly an acknowledgement. And I had already ordered a drink at this point. And I was kind of moving a little bit quick with it. And I thought like, okay, I'll slow down. No big deal. Then her phone starts going off a lot. Mm-hmm. Come to find out,
texting and shit.
She's in 2 group texts.
About you.
Maybe.
Probably.
The thing is, she replied to every text. Every time it went off, it was up and in her face.
Oh, man.
And now I have some friends who like to criticize me for how quickly and how much I text back and how much I'm on my phone.
Like in conversation or whatever.
Yeah. But this was almost uncanny.
Right. Well, it's like you're doing this. You're either you're doing this to be rude, or like you're doing this purposefully to be rude.
She did tell me, she's like, there's like 15 people in it, like, and they're all out.
Mute that shit.
Right. Like, why they're out without you?
I drove here. Yeah. Yeah.
What do you need to know?
Yeah. It's never that important.
So she's just in the next 2 hours, she just talks at me.
Mm-hmm.
Not once am I included in the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing I noticed was how quickly she drank and how much she drank.
Oh boy.
The entire night I ended up only having 2 beers.
Yeah.
She had 3 wines and a beer. And by the time she was done with her 4th drink, I still had beer left. And I wasn't talking at all.
I wish I could watch this whole date unfold.
The whole time
just
it was happening.
Just a French fry, just kind of peeking over at the game, and then like
it was surreal at times, and there came a point. Obviously, it was a breaking point early where I just decided like, well, this is a fun story.
Yeah,
like I at least have a fun story.
Yeah, and it's like bad, but it's not like it's just kind of like comically bad.
Exactly.
It's just like this is great.
Just, it'll be fun.
Bad date, fun bad date.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I'm waiting to text Ridley back, let her give her the all clear. She goes on and on about her family, where her dad lives. She tells me about her cat, how her cat has a brain disorder or something. She tells me that she just got a new car. It's an SUV. It's really great or whatever. She's telling me about like growing up with her brother and all his friends, and like telling me about all these guys who just want her so bad.
Yeah.
All sorts of stuff. Like, I'm hearing like everything.
Yeah. Cat tumors to, other guys are interested.
Other guys went in the bank. Well, there came a point where my phone went off twice. First, my friend Mallory texted me. And then I got a new connection on Bumble.
Please tell me you're bumbling on your Bumble date.
I replied to both. First, I texted my friend Mallory. She's like, hey, what are you up to? I'm like, oh, I'm on a date. She's like, why are you talking to me? I'm like, because it's going that well.
That's hilarious.
And then I immediately go over to Bumble, and it's this woman, Casey, who connected with me, which is
another.
Actually, I wish there was enough time to tell that story because it's such a fun parallel to it.
You have to come back.
She texts me. She's like, "Hey, how's it going?" I'm like, "Good. Just having some dinner. How are you?" She's like,
having some dinner.
Just having some dinner."
I would have straight up been like, "You don't even understand.
Just striking out here to clear the lineup for you."
I don't know, man. There's nothing to even to swing at. It's like that's what you should have told her though. You should have been like, "I'm totally on a Bumble date right now."
Her reply was, I wish I could eat.
What?
Right? That's it.
What do you
just
there's no good response to why.
No, there's not.
There absolutely are you isn't. Tied down? Are you being physically harmed?
I had to ask.
Or
so I was like, why can't you eat? She's like, oh, well, I'm at the hospital and they're doing tests right now. Come to find out, this wouldn't be the first or last time, or I should say it was definitely the first. It wouldn't be the last time that the opening text from someone on a dating app was about how they're in the hospital and they have some sort of test going on.
Oh, man.
So
you're just
little tip for everyone out there.
Yeah. You just
doesn't fly. It's not your best material. Don't lead
open
with that foot.
No.
Drag that foot a little bit longer.
Yes.
Drop that on them later.
Yes. Get it treated.
Get it checked out.
Maybe just don't
verify the results. Maybe get a second opinion.
I wish I could eat. Why would you tell someone?
Right? I did tell her, I'm like, oh, I hope you get out soon, blah, blah, blah. Come, like, she was getting tested for autoimmune disorder. She got out very late that night.
You found all this out? Oh, but you just overtime.
A lot of it I found out later.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, man, you really got to know this person.
Yeah. So,
say just on your date, on your current Bumble date.
It's
autoimmune disorder.
One of the things that I didn't quite put together in the moment was that she didn't find me funny at all.
Mm-hmm.
For some reason, this was just kind of slipping my attention. Probably because
this is the woman you're eating with.
Yeah, the one I was out with. No, the other woman. She thought it was hilarious.
Yeah, I bet
that was the hard part.
You know what's funny is she's probably your type for sure.
Oh yeah,
it's kind of sick. Really appreciates humor.
Just on her way out, always laughing.
Autoimmune disorder. There's got to be like a dating website for people who are into people with autoimmune disorders.
Yeah, I'll look it up later. Now wouldn't be an appropriate time for that. So the bill comes eventually.
Yeah,
and I paid for it.
Mm-hmm.
And her response instead of thank you was, "Oh, did it break the bank?" To which I replied like, "Oh no, it's no big deal. I'll just blow a couple truckers on my way back to pay for gas."
That's great.
She looked horrified.
She
gave me the most disgusted look. She's like, "That's not funny. That's so gross. That's so gross." So I laughed because I thought it was like, "Oh, the reaction's even better."
Yeah, Casey would have loved this. You're already
Let me tell you about Casey.
You're already thinking about Casey.
I already ran that joke by her.
Yeah. It worked with her. How long were you guys there? Like an hour? Like for a long? Was it really long? Yeah.
No. That's the thing. There's so many dates where you're just like you lose track of time because of conversation. There's those dates where it's like I can't get my mind off time because of this monologue in front of me. And that was the case. And like I said, she just kept getting more and more drunk, and I was getting concerned. Like we should end now.
And just more
like
rude.
She's going to. Like it came down to it where she asked, she's like, "Should I get another drink?" I'm like, "No, we should probably."
Yeah. Let's call it a night here.
So we go outside, and it's raining a bit, and she's parked right next to my car because there's not many in the lot.
You'll see my car. It's the only one. The owner doesn't even have a car at this place.
So she points out her car. She's like, "You like my car? Isn't it nice?"
This is the new one that she was all excited about.
It's a nice car. And then we made out for a couple minutes, and then I was like, okay, maybe a second date isn't so bad.
Complete 180. You're like, all right, let's just make out a little bit.
So like I said, that was Thursday.
In the parking lot.
That was Thursday. The next day, we talk, say we had a great time, blah, blah, blah.
How's the correspondence via text? Is it kind of normal or still kind of weird?
It's a little bit lighter, less tense.
Yeah, it's all good. Yeah. So maybe at this point you're like, it's just a little weird.
Yeah, it was just
she was just nervous or whatever.
Yeah, just nervous.
Yeah, just
nervous?
normal, just like normal, first date shit. Yeah. Just some people have a weird way of showing it.
Exactly. We should definitely try to empathize with her.
Mm-hmm.
That night, Friday night. So I was also moving out of my house at this time.
Mm-hmm.
So I was living in Ann Arbor. My house is in Farmington. I go to Farmington that night, start packing up stuff. And she's texting me a lot. She's just like, are you sure you had a good time? I was like, yeah, I had a good time.
Here we go.
I was like, oh no, maybe she picked up on the fact that she said every single word of the date, and I said I had no lines in the script. And so I was starting to panic. Like, well, I wasn't panicking, but I was just like, okay, like maybe I'm not so sold on seeing her again.
Right. Yes. That weird comes out again.
Yeah. But also at the same time, dating hadn't started that well anyway.
Yeah.
The second person I dated, the first person I dated, way cooler.
Yeah.
But like, it was a one date and done.
Yeah.
Like she didn't.
It wasn't.
The thing is, we clicked really well.
Mm-hmm.
But she just didn't. She kept using this line of, I just learned to love myself, so I don't want to have to depend on others. I'm like, well, that's huge. That's very big of you.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know, like, when I should stop trying to ask you out.
Yeah.
Like, should I keep trying? She's like, yeah, like, whatever. Like, okay.
Well, fuck that.
So there was just like a few times.
You go love yourself.
Yeah.
Like, that's cool.
Yeah.
At least you're honest.
So this is
all
the
you can
second.
appreciate. Yeah.
No,
But then you go to
was-
the complete
it was
opposite.
a courtesy truth.
Yeah.
Like I said, we clicked. Like, things went well.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. So this is the second person I dated. I'm like, well, I would like to have a better streak than only one dates and then whatever.
Yeah.
So
you might as well keep. You know what? That's the thing. Is like, what do you got to lose?
So she's just keeps asking. And I was like, yeah, no, I had a good time. Like,
Yeah.
like, do you just not believe me? Or and I threw out the idea of like, should we set a next date on the calendar? Like, would that like
Let's book
affirm it
something.
for you?
Let's book it up.
And she said,
Because
yeah,
you guys
like,
had already. This is a couple days had passed, so it's like
this is the next day.
Yeah.
This is still within 24-hour territory.
Yeah. Okay.
But it's the weekend.
Yeah.
And I'm sure, like,
Let's give it a week.
know,
Let's give it a week before I see you again.
let's give it
I'm still
time.
coming down from that.
Yeah.
That amazing blooming onion.
My body hasn't adjusted.
Yeah, I am still
to that
shitting.
Spinned it.
I am. So you guys book something up?
So I asked her, I'm like, okay, like what works for you next week? And she's like, well, I can do all these days. I'm like, well, I can definitely do Wednesday, Friday, or Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
She says, well, what about all those days?
Oh.
To which I said, whoa.
Yeah.
No. Like,
Yeah.
how about
Yeah.
Wednesday and Friday? I'm not giving you my whole weekend. Like, that's a bit much for a second.
Right. Well, and you're given 2, and you were like, how about
I
these?
gave 2, yeah.
Yeah. That's still a
That's
lot.
already
It's still.
that's a big chunk of my week.
Yes, that is.
So I the next morning I woke up and I immediately remembered I had something to do on Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
Which, if I remember correctly, I think I was supposed to record with you.
Probably. I think so. I think I remember this from you telling me this before.
I think that's what I was supposed to do. And we ended up having to cancel anyway.
Yeah.
Because we didn't end up doing the recording of the episode that I knew I was going to do with you until the next time. And I was also telling you this story.
Yeah. No, that would make sense. Yeah.
So I texted her. I'm like, I'm so sorry. Like, I forgot. I can't Wednesday. I'm busy. And she's like, oh, no, it's totally fine. I was like, oh, cool about it. Great. Well, then as the day grows older, she starts texting me about like hanging out before Friday.
Yeah.
Because Friday, she lets it be known that she wants to come out to Ann Arbor.
Yeah.
She hasn't been there in a while. I'm like, oh, yeah, great. Ann Arbor's fun.
I don't need you knowing where I live, lady.
See, that's another thing.
Did that even cross your mind when she brought that up? Like,
Not in the moment.
It's funny. Like, that's my first thought is just like, man,
But here's
the way you
thing.
drink, I don't want you coming to my place.
3 years later. No, 2 years later. It's the only thing I think about. I think about like, okay, how do I get them here and never give them my address?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, come to the pond.
Yes.
There will be a guy.
I'll meet
He'll
you
pick
there.
you up.
We'll walk.
He's not an Uber.
Yeah.
He's going to drive you to the Uber. The Uber
Yeah.
is going to take you downtown. Then I'll meet you downtown. And then,
God, yeah.
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 That's because, I guess there's been some other stories that would play out well here as well.
But no, I get it. I'm like, I don't want people to know where I live. And that,
Yeah.
especially when you're already on your, when you're a little skeptical of this person already, and you're like, man, you're coming a distance. You already like to drink a little bit, which is cool, but you can't stay here if I don't want you to.
Exactly.
But I'm not just gonna let you. But you're also not the type of person that's just gonna let them probably die. So like you're gonna be like,
yeah, I like to think that's the type of person.
Well, you know what I mean? Like this girl ended up getting wasted and you're like, I don't want you staying here. Well, you're not just gonna leave the person.
I also like to think it's not a matter of probability that in 100% of the cases that I would think I don't want that person to die right now.
Well, you know what I'm saying. I'm
not gonna let you
I don't mean just die. I mean like you wouldn't just let them get in a car and try and drive a half hour.
On my watch.
You know what I mean?
That's my personal motto.
But that's, you know,
okay. Well,
that's just a weird thing.
It's like have 9 drinks
to keep control of your situation. You can just go, I'll come to you. Yeah. Like that's it. You know.
No, that's
yeah. And then this way, I can decide to leave if shit gets out of hand.
Right.
You know what I mean? And you don't know where I live.
So that's luckily things kind of the winds change in that direction. Because as she's texting me more on that Saturday, she's saying like, oh, I can't believe I'd wait this long. Like, can't we hang out sooner? I'm like, well. And she, like, I just said no, because I was like, I have to move, like, I have to pack up so much stuff. I'm driving back and forth between Farmington and Ann Arbor all the time.
Yeah.
And I do have these plans with friends that I would like to hang out with them.
Yeah.
Well, she then throws out, she's like, well, what about Tuesday? Like, okay, how do you not get that I can't hang out before then? Well, then finally I just broke. I'm like, okay, I can make Tuesday work, but
that's it.
You got to come to me. She's like, I'm already coming out to Ann Arbor on Friday. I was like, oh my God. So I'm like,
it's like, you guys sound like you're in a relationship.
Right.
You tell me.
But I just kept giving in. I was like, okay, fine. I'll come to you. She's like, oh, what do you want to do? I'm like, what? I don't know.
Yeah.
What is there to do in Davis, Michigan? And she's like, oh, well, you know, we could like get dinner and rent a movie. I was like, cool. She's like, play Friends trivia. I'm like, okay.
Okay.
So,
yeah.
Like, that sounds fine.
And you're like, shit, I haven't even binged it. Give me
it's
some
not even
time.
on Netflix yet.
Yeah.
Like, I can't.
Give me some time.
I don't know what the Nick at Night schedule is.
Yeah, I got to buy the box set real quick.
I got to go collect all those DVD box sets. The VHS of the ones that haven't come out on DVD yet.
Yeah.
Got to go find that VCR.
Yeah, so really, So how many days until? So you end
this
up
is
just going,
still Saturday.
Yeah. So you guys are still
days away. Still a week away before I have to see her in my area. And then she convinces me to come out Davison. So then she asks, she's like, "Oh, well, what do you want to eat?" Which still no knowledge of what's in Davison, Michigan.
Yeah.
My reply is, "Well, what do you have there?"
Yeah.
She lists off, well, we have a Chili's, we have an Applebee's, we have a Jimmy John's.
Yes.
And I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Like, this is my fucking nightmare.
We can just order Jimmy John's.
Me?
They deliver.
So also, and I didn't take, we can rent a movie to be as literal as it was going to be.
Like old school, like brick and mortar.
So I get out there. So Tuesday comes around. Things are civil betwixt the two of us for 4 days. And I head out there, and she gave me directions on how to get to her place. I also brought a bottle of wine. She gave me the worst directions I'd ever been given in an apartment complex. And now I've driven in some very complicated apartment complexes. This place.
Yeah.
This place is not easy.
It took me 20 minutes to get here the other day.
You two got so lost the other night.
From the car. It
sent out a search party?
It took us 20 minutes from the car to get to your door.
You called me and another person showed up.
Twice. Yeah, we called you. We talked twice.
I thought...
Two phone calls it took before before you finally went. I'm like, I got it.
10 minutes between the first 2 phone calls.
Yeah.
At least 6 or 7 minutes between the second and the time that I saw you show up at my door.
It was an absurd amount of time it took us to find this place.
I was very glad to see you.
Yeah, I know. We really earned it.
I was very concerned.
Really earned it. Oh my God.
So I get out there and she's trying to direct me to her building. None of the buildings have numbers on them. She just tells me the number of her apartment, the apartment door. So it's like one of those that, like, if you look at the outside,
everyone's got their own. Oh, go ahead.
Okay.
I was gonna say everyone's got their own
like
address,
entrance
number.
Okay. Yes, but you don't see them. They're on the inside. So like there are stairs that go up into it, and then it's in between that the doors face inward.
So it's
and there's
impossible.
the number, but the number she gave me was like a building dash apartment number.
Yeah.
Like I said, the buildings have no numbers.
Yes, you don't know.
So it's just like I assumed all the apartments just went over and over again per building.
Right.
So I'm asking her, and like I called her twice when I got in. Like she was clearly annoyed by the second phone call. She's like, how have you not found it? I'm like, you kidding me? Like,
I love it.
The thing is, I got out of my car and I just walked up to the closest door. And I walked between two doors, and I that's when I called her the second time.
Yeah, and this is an act of desperation. You don't even know if you're at the right place.
I have no idea.
You're just like, fine, I'll try this one.
I just know that I'm on foot and that I could be closer than where I was.
Yep.
And just by chance, she walks out of the door to my left.
That's great.
And she just looks like so befuddled that I'm confused.
Yeah.
So she's like, she welcomes me in. Once again, no hello.
Yeah.
She goes right back to her glass of wine.
Not the one you brought.
Which was her second glass already.
Oh, shit.
And she sits right back down on her couch, to which she has an episode of Gotham paused. And she's like, do you watch this show? I'm like, no. She's like, oh, well, I have to finish it. There's 15 minutes left of this episode. She plays it out.
Welcome.
She, at the end, she just like took a moment, and then she like looked at me. She's like, why haven't you kissed me yet? I was like, what the hell? What is happening? So then at that point, she notices that I brought the bottle of wine. I set it down on her table.
Yeah. She didn't even notice. It took her 20 minutes to notice.
She looks at the bottle. She gives it a look, and she's like, oh, well, you can drink this.
Wow. Wow. So like, it's like rude.
Once again,
just
not knowing when to leave the party.
Yeah, I mean,
not knowing when to think, Andy, you should turn some of that love inward. Like, take a note out of Michelle's book and love yourself first.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you should. Yeah, you gotta. I should introduce you to my last date.
She knew what to do. Sorry, I just I opened my phone. I was gonna pull up what I need to pull up first, and I saw a video of my dog, and I just got distracted. So then she decides to show off her cat, Tipsy.
Yeah.
I heard so much about. He's got a brain thing going.
Yeah.
She pulls out a toy with like a suction cup and then like a thing that dangles, and she like slams it on her door wall, and she calls Tipsy over, and then she starts yelling at Tipsy. She's like, Tipsy, play. Play, Tipsy, play. She's yelling at this cat. This cat's sitting like a foot and a half in front of her, just staring at her.
Are you
not doing anything?
Are you even like interested in this of
not
what's happening?
I
just see you sitting on the couch, just like not even
I
motionless.
Don't hate cats. I don't care for cats.
But I just mean like the scenario though. You're just like, fuck. What are you like? I don't see you even pretending to not be annoyed or like, why the fuck?
I would imagine my face looks how it looks like most of the time.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Just like a little like. Just,
not happy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not
just like
pleased
also
to be there.
You would think I would think there are hints that
when
the guy in my
close?
apartment is not interested in my cat's lack of ability to play.
I have no interest in this trick.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure this trick that you're about to show me, I've seen before.
Yeah.
Nothing about this do I need to see.
That's it.
So as she's yelling at this cat for a while, then there came a moment where everything got super quiet. They locked eyes. And then the cat lunged at her. And she screamed, ran to the table where there was a can of compressed air and started spraying at him.
Holy shit.
And then he took off.
Holy shit. Like, that cat did not want to play.
And she sat down the can of air, and then she decided to show me her apartment.
Yeah. No. Do you want a tour? Doesn't even acknowledge what happened.
Showing off her apartment. Yeah, not a single acknowledgement of what the hell just happened.
Yeah, right. We're gonna just pretend. We're just gonna leave that there.
And she's like showing off this like Target level bullshit art and like this very basic apartment.
Yeah.
And like she just kept doing this weird check-in thing that she kind of like did with her car the night before. She's like, "Do you like this? Isn't this nice?" And I was like, "Yeah, it's nice." So, whatever. I wasn't like feigning too much interest.
Yeah.
Well, then like after the tour, it's like a 1-bedroom apartment. Go back to her living room and I sit down for a second. She's just like, "So what do you think of my apartment? Isn't it nice?" I'm like, yeah, it's a nice apartment. Well, then I tried to make, I think I tried to make 2 jokes at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then it started to really click in that she doesn't think I'm funny at all because everything was falling flat.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I didn't stop
point of
trying
no
at that
return.
point.
Yeah.
There was just,
It's just like, well, this is last. Well, at least she's not coming to Ann Arbor.
I don't know that yet, though. Like, I don't know what's gonna happen.
Well, yeah, but you've made that decision.
I'm pretty sure I'm there.
You're anticipating that this is not gonna go any further.
I've already made the dinner plans in my head. Like, I know she threw out like a couple sitting down restaurants, but I'm already like Jimmy John's. We're doing Jimmy John's. I gotta get out of here.
That's all.
I'm gonna get like a slim 5, so there's not like too much.
Yeah. You know what? Let's go dine in.
Yeah, we'll drive separate for too long.
Drive separate.
Well, she starts going over the plans for the evening. She's like, what were you going to eat? And that's when I was like, Jimmy John's. Jimmy John's fine. And then she's like, okay, well, let's go rent a movie. And at that point, I was like, I assumed she meant Netflix.
Right. Or like...
So I was starting to like really question
modern rental.
Might be going to Redbox.
Yeah. Well,
she starts talking about like this place that she has seen before. She's like, I know I've seen this place before. Like, I know it's around here somewhere. I just got to find it. Like, what the hell is she talking
doesn't know. Oh, yeah.
So we get in the car. We start driving.
She's driving her car?
She's driving her car. Her nice new car.
You got in a car with this woman?
Look, there are way more mistakes I've made still. So reserve that judgment.
I'll follow you.
That soon.
Let me follow you.
Oh, by the way,
I'll follow you to a Redbox.
I forgot to mention, the night or the morning after the first date, when my friend Ridley got into work that day, she would get in like an hour after me. I walked into her cube and she just popped her head out, looked at me and just like gave me a weird look. And I just stared for a second and she's like, oh, I'm so sorry. How'd it go? I'm like, well, honey, you should ask.
That's hilarious.
So luckily I didn't need her to like do the check-in thing.
Yeah.
But probably would have needed it had I maintained a relationship with this woman. So then we get in the car, we start driving, and she's like, I know it's around here somewhere. And Davidson's not big, so it's like
a small
one
town.
road.
Yeah. There's three places it could be.
At most, you're doing 2 passes.
Right.
You're looking right on the one pass, and you're looking left on the other.
Yeah.
At most.
And some people will look at both on the one.
Yeah, there's 2 of us. We could just knock this out in one.
You look that way, I look this way. What's it called? Looks like a video.
Lo and behold, we find this, like, empty strip mall. But the corner that's, like, closest to the street has something, no sign, but has something. She pulls in, she's like, I'm pretty sure this is it.
Oh boy.
And she's like, I knew it. I knew this was it. We walk in, and no joke, it's like an old school, like they just opened though. Like it's a new place, but it's like old school, like they have those stupid racks that you only see in a movie rental place. And we're in there for like 20 minutes. She can't decide on a movie. She wants a horror movie.
Okay.
But she has seen them all.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah.
Horror's not my favorite genre.
Sure. But you'll sit through a movie. Let's just get this. Yeah. Let's just pick something. You pick it. Let's go.
Important to note, most times, like on a date, like when things are clicking, like physically, or there's that like sexual tension, the movie's a formality. You know, it's just there, just playing in the background.
Right.
So she finally she decides on a movie. She's walking up to the register and they have a big sign that says, like the rules of how you can rent here. And one of them is you must be a resident of Davidson. And she turns to me, she's like, oh my God, I don't think I can rent from here. She's like, my license still has my old address.
That's hilarious.
Which is like in Saginaw or something.
That is so great. Well, still, but like it's also like
it's like there's are
you that concerned?
It's such an exclusive
I'm sure
movie rental place.
I'm sure they might bend the rules. Like no, I'm in town from Saginaw.
Well, she turns around, she asks the lady at the register, she's like, yeah, I'm sorry, we can't rent to you.
Oh my God. You guys can't even rent the movie? That's so great. That's so funny.
And she's like,
was she upset?
She was pretty upset. Because, I mean, it took her forever to pick out the movie.
Yeah.
And she was then really excited about the movie.
That is so funny.
So then...
You know, we have this thing called iTunes. You want me to rent? We'll rent it.
I'll just
rent it.
pull up my Prime Video app.
Yeah. It's $1 for 48 hours.
I have this membership that covers the cost.
Yeah, right.
No overhead.
That video place sounds like a laundering scheme for sure.
Probably was. They don't want anyone renting to. Then they'll find out that it's a scam.
That's what. Yeah, it's like. Yeah. We only rent to people who are from Cadillac. Nobody. We don't rent to anybody. Just don't even ask.
No, you have to be born there. You can't live there. You have to be born there.
Yeah.
And prove it.
Exactly. Bring your birth certificate and your soch.
Two forms of identity.
So did you guys even eat yet? You didn't eat. You gotta go. Now you gotta eat.
Well, she then says like, "Oh, well, let's just go to Redbox," which I thought like, of course.
Yeah.
That should have been the first place. Why were we even fucking around with this place? Why did we get out of a car to go into a place?
Right. This is
so
ridiculous.
We went.
So
we
great.
pick up the movie, the new Poltergeist movie, the one with Sam Rockwell, and that was like the one moment that I was like, oh
yeah, all right.
See a Sam Rockwell movie.
Yeah, let's check it out.
I'm excited.
Yeah, I'll get something out of this night.
Then we go to Jimmy John's.
To go?
To go.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, to go.
Yeah. This date, you want this date to be freaky fast.
I need it to, yeah.
Let's get this shit and let's eat it in the car on the way back. Pop the movie and I'm out. Let's go.
If I start reading the synopsis of the movie, can we fast forward some?
Yeah.
So I grab a bag of jalapeno chips.
Nice.
Which
let me tell. Yeah, I was gonna say. Let me guess. You guys get doing our shit. Oh, jalapeno.
She then says, "Well, I guess we're not kissing tonight," which I didn't take as too much of a threat. I thought like that's fine.
Would you rather me salt and vinegar? There's really no good option here.
You go with the thin chips.
Yeah.
I guess. Mm-hmm. But even so, it's just like I don't care. Like I don't.
Yeah.
How are you not picking up on this right?
Yeah, right.
This has
I can just hear the way you're. I can just hear the way you're probably talking to her, and it's just so great.
Yeah, I don't mask the I guess the condescension in my voice very well. Which as
I could just
as
a
friend of mine,
like
I just want to say I appreciate that you're still around.
I love it. No, I think it's hilarious.
So we go back to the apartment. We eat. She then puts on the Friends Seen It trivia game.
Oh shit! She got a board game and everything. This is legit. She's no joke.
I didn't know like
that's what she meant.
I didn't know that was the depth of it.
Yeah.
Well, she also explains that she has the Seinfeld one, but this was bought for her from a previous ex, and she's not that big of a fan of Seinfeld. So already, like, I'm poking holes in her profile here.
Yeah.
So we're eating, we're playing, and she's killing me, and I'm fine with it. Yeah. I can't tell you how fine I was.
Yeah.
I'm just like, this is going to be over so quick.
Can we watch this fucking movie, please, lady?
So then I start to notice it smells like shit in her apartment.
Like human shit?
No.
Like
thought for sure. I knew right away. I was
just smells
the
bad.
cat shit somewhere.
Yeah.
And I know it's the cat. I'd also like to point out.
Well, that's good that you know it's the cat.
I know for sure it's the cat. I know
like
it's not her
or a friend of hers, or you don't know. You know?
No, I know for sure. I'm just like
somewhere this cat has just
having a better night than I am. And also would like to point out she's had at least 4 glasses of wine since I got there.
Oh boy!
So when I showed up, she was
progressively
in her second
more
one,
drunk. Yes,
had a third in the short time that she decided to display and then get attacked by Tipsy.
Hilarious.
And then show off her apartment, and then for us to get on the road together. Well, then she takes notice of the smell, and she like gives me a weird side eye. Well, then she like walks around the apartment, and then she comes back. She's like, "Oh, Tipsy just shit all over the litter box and didn't cover it." She's like, "I thought you farted."
Cat. Yeah.
And I'm just like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
Like you've never talked to a person before, have you?
Yeah. Right.
So once again, not giving a shit, just whatever. Yeah. Well, Friends ends. She then puts on Seinfeld. And I am just giving it to her.
Yeah.
I'm destroying her. It is the one moment of the night where I'm just like, this is great.
Man, you're being such a dick about
and I'm
it,
not.
too.
No, that's the thing. I'm not.
No?
I was just like,
I could just see you being like, yeah, bitch.
Yeah, just like, I knew the answer. And then would move on and be like, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I know you can't beat me in Seinfeld. I knew that from the start.
I knew that from the start.
I knew that when I saw your eyes in your photo.
I could tell.
So then she's getting she starts to withdraw a bit. She's like on the couch, like cuddling up, like knees up in.
Yeah, yeah.
And she's just like getting quiet. And then I'm just like,
breaking this
pissed.
poor woman.
She's so pissed that she's losing.
Yeah.
And it's so stupid.
Yeah.
And then the DVD skips. I don't know if you know how those games work, but it's just a constant, like, you don't pick things. Like, it plays out from
you go with
beginning
the whole
to
game.
end.
Yeah.
So it skips, starts over, and she jumps up. She's like, oh, let's just watch the movie. So I'm like, okay.
All right.
And then she's like, well, you have to move the DVD player into the bedroom.
Oh,
So
great.
I'm like, sure I do. Like, of course I do.
Yeah.
This is, of course, what's going to happen. So I unhooked the DVD player, go set it up in the bedroom. I'm like, yep.
Foreplay.
I wonder what else I have to do. I wonder what else.
Do you need some dishes done? Do you need another DVD player?
Well, she pours more wine.
You're sober.
By the way,
stone sober. Maybe a glass of wine.
Maybe
the wine that she forced you to drink.
Oh yeah, she's like,
you have to drink this.
I decided to.
Yeah,
I was like,
You're
of course.
Yeah,
With
I brought
a plum, I will drink.
Yeah.
Like that's what I brought.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, someone's got to drink
This
it.
is mine. This is all mine. So
Not just gonna have you re-gift this. which,
yeah, right.
Funny enough, I re-gifted it to her, so I wasn't too heartbroken about it.
Yeah, I didn't even buy this shit.
So yeah, maybe 1 or 2 glasses in.
Yeah.
Start the movie. Watch the entire movie. That's, to me, the tone of the date in its entirety. Where I was more interested in Sam Rockwell.
Right.
And how he was going to get his family out of this haunted house that was built on a cemetery of Native Americans, then try to make a move on her.
Right. I'm in her bedroom with her.
Yeah.
And I would much rather just watch this movie.
Yeah. Well, there came another point during the movie where Tipsy entered the room. And she
Shit got
starts
tense.
yelling at Tipsy. She's like, Tipsy, get out of here. Well, then, once again, like a fucking singular moment, everything just froze.
Oh my god.
And she's just like locked eyes with the cat. Everything went silent. I don't even think the movie played. And once again, the cat lunged at her, hit my arm, and
my
then
God.
she jumped up, yelled at the cat, like ran for the can of air again, and then like chased him into the bathroom, and then locked him in the bathroom.
Shit.
And then like for 10 minutes, the cat was freaking out in the bathroom.
Holy shit.
So
Talk
she
about
comes back,
uncomfortable.
and we're supposed to just start the movie
Like
up
pretend,
again, like
like
nothing
pretend
happened.
like that didn't just happen. Like you and your cat had a weird moment.
Yeah.
The second of the
Second.
night.
And at that point, like I'm thinking, like, oh shit, what if I have to use the restroom?
Right. Yeah. Now you're like, shit, I'm gonna have to pee soon.
Yeah.
Gonna
And
have
I've
to
been
pee.
attacked by several cats in my life.
Sure.
Once again, no problem with cats.
Right.
I grew up around some great cats.
Party is like might be like maybe it's just these two who got a thing. Some some shit went down.
Yeah. So the movie ends, and then she decides, of course, to put on some late seasons of Friends. So I'm already like, it's out of my range. And I just don't care at this point. I don't know what Ross.
Oh,
is
they
doing.
get. Oh yeah, they
seems
get married.
weird.
Or no?
Oh,
yeah.
cool.
Oh,
Like,
so and so's
really
pregnant.
incestuous.
Yes.
They never date outside this group now.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
Yeah.
I remember when they did nothing but date outside this group.
Yeah.
It was great. Back in my day,
Yeah. Right.
these people used to go out and meet celebrities.
Are you guys? I didn't even ask. Are you guys close in age at all? Or is she like a second generation Friends fan?
I think it was 4 years older.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So she's a little late to the party
Yeah.
on Friends compared to you.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Oh
no.
yeah, I've been around.
Yeah.
I remember Selleck's both mustache and no mustache episodes. So yeah, she puts on Friends, and then things kind of heat up.
Right.
Start going at it. And then she starts doing this check-in thing again,
Oh no. Yeah,
where
that's
like
really buzzkill.
she
here.
just breaks
Come on.
stride to just be like,
Yeah.
"You're turning me on."
Yeah. Thank you.
Not just like I'm not gonna converse, and she's just like, "Am I turning you on?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kinda. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
what. Can you?
Yeah, I mean, you can.
There's
tell.
signs.
Yeah, there's definite signs.
There's signs.
You know.
Yes.
And she did it again. She's like, "Oh my god, I'm getting so turned on." Are you getting so turned on? She's like, "Yes." Yeah, it's going great. Things
fine.
Things
Yeah.
are going well. Well, like she got hers, and then she decided to call it quits. Well, then at one point she's just like above me, and she's just like leaning down on me, And then she starts pressing into my stomach.
What?
And she's like...
Like, with their fingertip?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Like that?
Just like this.
Just like poking
Just
you, basically.
poking, like, hands flat.
Yeah.
Into me. She's like, I thought you had abs.
Wow. Yeah. This is just... Are you laughing? I'd be like, fuck.
At that point, I was just like, I was so surprised. Like, I wasn't offended.
No, it was just
but like also at the same time, like I had abs. It was coming off winter. They probably weren't the best abs.
But like, that's
I was like, yeah, they're there.
It's not even like, I wouldn't even take that as rude either. Or like, I wouldn't be offended either. But I'd also be like,
at this point, it was such
shock of like, is this
such
how
a
you...
spectacle that I was just like, let's see what else she says.
Yeah. Like, what?
So I just, yeah. It's like, no, they're there. And she's like, oh yeah, here they are. Cool. So then it's also it had come up earlier in the night. In fact, I think it came up earlier that day. She kept asking me to stay over. Now, this is a Tuesday night.
You gotta get back.
It was also that same day that I finally put it together that it is a much further drive for me to get to her place when she's not working.
Right.
So I was like, no, there's no way that'll work. Like, I'd have to wake up at 4 a.m. to get back to my place to then get into work. I start at 7.
Yeah.
And she just kept pushing the issue all night. Well, then at that point, like, I started to get ready. And she's like, and she's mad. She starts doing the, like, I can't believe you're not staying over. Like, I can't believe you're not just going to stay the night. It's like, I told you, like, I'm not waking up.
You should be able
not waking up in 4 hours from now.
Yeah.
To then go into work.
Yeah, and you should understand. That's an understandable, like, it's a Tuesday, lady. Come on.
How are you not putting this together? So, trying to think if I should tell the next part or not. Nah, I'll leave that part. It's not a big detail. It was just another crazy thing that come out of someone's mouth.
Yeah.
So anyway, I left, and I get back, and I'm texting Robert. Like, as soon as I got out, I texted Robert. And Robert this entire time has just been abreast of the, like, every conversation, every little bit, and he knows, like, he's also pushing me to see it through.
Yeah.
And so I get out that night. I'm like, I'm not seeing her on Friday.
Never.
Oh, that was the other thing too. So she got really drunk that night.
Yeah.
Well, no, she didn't get really drunk that night. I'm sorry. She talked about getting really drunk Friday night. And
like, we're gonna have like we're gonna like go out and just get trashed.
She brought it up. She's like, I don't want to have sex tonight. I'm like, no, that's totally fine.
Yeah.
And she's like, I want to have sex Friday night because we can get drunk, and then drunk sex is the best. And I thought, it's not.
Is that that's a red flag, right?
Yeah, that's a huge red flag.
Yeah.
So luckily
you tell me you think that's the best.
Yeah. So I was like, it was that was the deciding factor for me. I'm like, I'm not seeing her.
Well, you don't know what kind of emotional
I'm not having you come to my place.
Not even like just the fact that it wouldn't be fun. It's just more like, what is going on up there? Like that you think that's what you think.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So Robert, who's like team see it through, is pushing.
This is entertaining, for sure. It's for anyone involved. But yeah, you've just had enough. So you leave that night.
That's Tuesday.
Yeah, and you're planning to cancel these Friday plans.
Trying to just like feel it out, but it's just like the conversation on Wednesday's bad.
Yeah.
Thursday gets a little bit crazy. And I'm just like, I'm not distant. I'm not a dick. But then this conversation starts up Thursday night, and she sends me a meme. It's of when Jason Alexander was in an episode of Friends, and he was like planning to kill himself or something.
Oh boy.
Well, the meme it's him on Friends, and it says, when you want to watch Seinfeld, but she wants to watch Friends. And she sent that to me.
Wow.
And so I'm gonna read this. I'm gonna do it back and forth.
So you saved these messages.
Oh yeah, I kept this whole thing.
Yeah,
it's so cool.
I love that you still have these.
Yeah, I will never delete this. This will be the last thing on my phone.
This is so great. It's like your background.
Yeah. So she says, that's us tomorrow night. I'm going to leave right from work. Is that cool? And then I said, I only have Seinfeld in my apartment, so it looks like you're going to be the one to kill themselves.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. I didn't like.
I love it.
I was over it.
You're just trying to see. Yeah, you're like
Thursday was a long day.
Yeah.
And then she says, "Okay, sounds grand." I'm excited for this great date you're taking me on. And I said, good. And then she says, better be romantic, exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark.
That's too many.
To which I said, oof, romantic? I can promise that there will be food and drinks at best. And she says, not a very romantic kind of guy? And I said, not really. She says, oh, well, that's sad. I said, I'm sorry. She says, it's okay. I'm only expecting diamonds and 3 bouquets of roses tomorrow. Just something small.
Jesus.
And I said, oh, that. Yeah, I got that. And she says, don't tease me because I like diamonds and flowers. And I said, I definitely don't have that. She sends me 2 sad emojis. And then I reply with, well, I got you some bees, though. You like bees? And then I sent
the bee emoji.
I just started rapidly tapping the bee emoji, which I sent 16 bees and a caterpillar. And I noticed it was a typo. I don't know if you can typo an emoji. And I immediately replied to my own text. I'm like, how did that caterpillar sneak in there? And then she says, are the bees just on all the flowers you got me? And I said, no, but sure are stinging like they should be.
Man, she really threw some effort on her part.
She's
That's a
really
nice response
trying
to that.
to
That was a nice response.
away
I gotta
from the
give
bees and get back on track.
I gotta give her that one.
Oh,
That's clever. That is pretty clever.
She knows how to get what she wants. And then she replies with, so you want me to get stung by a bunch of bees? And I said, no. Are you crazy? That'll kill them. I want you to admire them from afar.
That's hilarious.
She says, what about me getting hurt? To which I said, wear sleeves, like thick sleeves. She says, maybe I shouldn't come. And I said, there are only like 8 bees. And she says, yeah, I'm going to pass. And I say, all right, but if you change your mind, there's plenty of honey.
Oh, shit.
She came back with, yeah, I think that just coming home would be better. I sent one more bee emoji. And then she says, you have a nice night with your bees. I said, thanks, bee emoji, open mouth smile emoji. She said, yeah, good night. I said, good night. She says, yeah. The last I ever heard from her.
Wow.
Then, the next day at work, terrible day at work. Like, my friend John and I are working on a project that is just going south. Things are just going wrong all over the place. My grandma went in the hospital that day.
Yeah.
Like, my mind's just all
Just a normal,
all over
just
the
your
place.
typical shitty day.
Robert, meanwhile, is texting me. He's like, dude, hang out with her tonight. You have to see her tonight.
And he's seen all these and knows all this.
I've sent him the whole conversation.
So great.
And it starts to click in. I'm like, okay, she would be there at 6, but I don't know for sure. I still hadn't heard from her for sure. I don't know like how stubborn she is, if she's just going to show up at my place. I was dumb enough to have sent her my address already. Well, I started to like kick around the possibility of just hanging out hanging out downtown at work, just to avoid any confrontation.
Yeah.
Well, around 5, it's like, I gotta go. Like,
Yeah.
there's nothing else I can do to help out John and what he's stressing out about. It's like, I'll just go. So I get back to my apartment. I'm just sitting there, like, okay, I have an hour for sure. She's not here in an hour. I know she's not coming. Well, after the first date, she had me join this trivia game that like connected through Facebook.
Like Trivia Crack or whatever. Do you remember that? It's like the spin the wheel thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was that.
Trivia
It was
Crack.
Trivia Crack.
Yeah.
Yep. So
You can play against people.
Yeah, we were playing ever since our first date, and it wasn't fun. I mean, it's not hard trivia. It's like trivia for like, I don't know, middle schoolers or something. So it's kind of boring. Like she literally doesn't like losing.
Yeah.
So it's not a fun thing to bring into a new relationship.
Right.
Also, before we even went on our first date, she befriended me on Facebook. Another bit of a red flag.
Yeah.
So there I am sitting in my apartment, kind of sweating bullets, not sure what to expect. 6 o'clock hits, my phone goes off, and it says, so-and-so has disconnected from you on Trivia Crack.
That's hilarious.
So I immediately go over to Facebook, and I see she has unfriended me. I'm like, all right, I think
we're cool.
That's it. And that is the worst dating story I've ever had.
The worst dating experience. So everything since then's been all right.
I shouldn't even say, well, no.
Gosh.
Things have been terrible since then. Not quite. I think the most ridiculous most absurd dating story I have.
Mm-hmm.
And there's just been some bad ones.
But this one is in particular.
Yeah.
Man, this is the fact that it's fresh in. But again, what did I say earlier? Fresh in there.
Fresh in there.
Fresh in there. It's a good, just like, all right, just get your feet wet.
Like, oh, you don't know how to swim? Well, let's tie some weights to your ankles.
Not a bad one to waste it on, you know?
No.
That's great. That's so great.